Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Sorry started about 10 minutes late. For some reason, OBS would not connect to YouTube Studio, so I ended up having to restart my computer. So thank you guys for joining me. It is December 8th, 2021, UFC 269 fight week. So I'm assuming this entire live chat, for the majority of the chat, we're going to be talking about UFC 269. Thank you guys for joining me. We are currently at, let me put it up on the thing. We are currently at 1,584 subscribers. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate every single one of you. I do these live streams every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, usually. I throw some random ones out there. If I have free time, I'll do a live stream here and there. But usually every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, I do this live chat, regardless of what's going on. So if you guys are watching the replay and you have a question, leave it in the comments and I'll answer it next week or in a video in the future. Other than that, guys, fill the chat with questions. As far as the title goes, I did what's next for Jose Aldo, UFC 269 predictions, Till versus Hall, O'Malley future champ is what I was saying. So we'll, of course, talk about all those topics, but you guys know I'm always just answering your questions on here. So let's see. Let me scratch my nose because my mustache is tickling my nose. Blaze One Sport, the first one in the chat I see. What's up, Ord from Dragon Tales? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. Pine. If Till loses his next fight, what are the chances he gets cut? That's a tough one because the UFC sees Darren Till as a UK moneymaker. You know, he's from Liverpool. You know, he draws in the UK fans. So I think it's probably unlikely that he gets cut. That would be a 3-fight losing streak. 2 of those against some of the best. Robert Whittaker and Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson's in a title eliminator. Robert Whittaker's in a title fight in his next fight. But a loss to Uriah Hall. And I wanted to talk about that fight. That's why I put it in the title. Excuse me, guys. I wanted to put it in the title because first off, Darren Till, and you know, you guys, some of you guys may think I'm a hater. You know, I like Darren Till very, very much. You know, he's just a fun guy. He's got a fun fighting style. He's a fun guy. But for me, Darren Till has never been, you know, this big. Everyone has this huge hype about his skill set. Now, me personally, even though I say that, and you know, I'm always honest with you guys, I'd pick Darren Till to beat Tyron Woodley. I thought he'd be able to stuff the takedowns. I thought he was so big, so strong. I thought he'd be able to stuff the takedowns, and I thought he would outstrike Woodley. Obviously, I was dead wrong. I wasn't even super high on Till at that point, but I thought he was good enough to get the job done against Woodley. That was a terrible pick. He got absolutely demolished by Woodley. But ever since then, even though I wasn't really on the hype train then, I was off the hype train. I picked him to lose against Masvidal. I was fairly confident in that prediction. I thought Masvidal, you know, had been around for so long, was severely underrated at the time. He's not anymore, but at the time, I picked him to lose to Kelvin Gastelum. That was a very close fight. It was a split decision. But what I will say about Till is, even though I don't think he's championship caliber, he fights nothing but elite competition. Nothing but elite competition. So you got to respect him. I think he's a big draw in the UK. I think the reason the UFC matched him up with Uriah Hall is to get him back in the win column. I think he will beat Uriah Hall most likely, unless he's completely fallen off a cliff. But Uriah Hall is one of those guys. Sometimes he looks like a trash can. Other times he looks really, really good. So we will see. We will see. But I'm going to say the chances that he gets cut, less than 20% chance, I would say, to answer your question. Tommy, what's up? Is French okay? Blaze One Sports, no, haven't. Okay, made it this time. What's up, Niles? Hope you're doing well. I'm actually going to take this off the screen. I don't always have that on the screen, so I'll take it off for now. And also, you guys know, if you've been a part of any of the streams, now if anybody publicly subscribes to the channel during the streams, becomes a member of the channel, or donates via Super Chat, it will pop up on screen with an MMA GIF. I can't wait until someone signs up for a membership on stream, because the GIF is an awesome GIF. I love the GIF that I put on there. By the way, I meant to mention it in the beginning, guys. If you want to become a member of the channel, it doesn't cost very much. You get custom loyalty badges and emojis. Also, we have a members-only Discord that we just started up. We'll be chatting live during UFC 269. You'll be able to message me directly. And also, I post a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. It doesn't cost very much. It's just a way to support the channel. You don't have to do it. Obviously, I put out all these videos anyway. But it's just a little something extra. If you want to support the channel, you can sign up for a membership. And my favorite benefit now, and this wasn't even my idea. This was French Fry's idea and somebody else's idea. Is the members-only Discord. The fact that we can message live during the events and give our initial reactions when I'm not streaming is awesome. So if you want to sign up, the link is in the description. If not, no big deal. Keep enjoying the live chat. Let's see. Who has a better chance against Justin, Dustin or Oliveira? I think Justin Gaethje is a nightmare matchup for Oliveira. So I'll say Dustin beats Justin, has a better chance to beat Justin than Oliveira does. I'm not super confident on that, but I think Justin Gaethje has a very good chance of dusting both those guys up. I said Dustin. But I think Justin Gaethje has a good chance of beating Dustin Poirier in a rematch and Charles Oliveira. What's up, Blaze One? Charles for the win. I agree. Sup, Joey? Would you like to see O'Malley versus Yair? Yeah, but they're in different weight classes. That's never going to happen. Justin Gaethje, guess. Yair destroys O'Malley. Yeah. Yair Rodriguez, especially after seeing him in that performance against Max Holloway, and he just performed so well in that fight, even in a losing effort. I think Yair Rodriguez would absolutely wreck Sean O'Malley. How does O'Malley do against Song Yadong, who was last ranked 15? That would be a decent test. I would equivalent that. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Equate. I would equate an O'Malley versus Song Yadong to similar to a Hamza versus Li Jingliang, somewhere around there. It would be a decent test other than fighting these nobodies. And then you have people who are just Sean O'Malley, cultists. And what they say is they try so hard to elevate Raulian Paiva and say, oh, he's got this great record and he beat Kyler Phillips, which he didn't beat Kyler Phillips. At best, it was a draw. And the only reason it was a draw was because Kyler Phillips beat him so badly in the first round, he just completely gassed out. So that's not even a good win. He was he fought the majority of his UFC career at flyweight. Raulian Paiva, I wouldn't necessarily call him a full-on can, but this is a very, very easy winnable matchup for O'Malley. And if by some chance it's not, and I'm wrong on that, hold on. If by some chance Paiva comes out with the victory on Saturday against Sean O'Malley, I don't feel that I'm wrong about Paiva's skills. I think that's an indictment on Sean O'Malley's skill set. If Paiva wins, that just goes to show Sean O'Malley's nowhere even near. I have tempered expectations of Sean O'Malley, but if Paiva beats him, even my expectations were far too high as far as my analysis of his skill set. So if Paiva beats him on Saturday, I don't even know what to say with that one. That would just be absolutely borderline career ending. Borderline career ending for Sean O'Malley. Honestly, I don't know where he would go from there. Could you imagine if he loses to Raulian Paiva? I don't know where he goes from there. Do you think Nunez versus O'Malley will happen next, or will Sean fight a ranked person? I don't know, man. It's hard to guess with O'Malley. I think he'll fight a ranked person. Nunez will probably be in the rankings, though. I would have preferred a Nunez matchup to this matchup currently. This matchup currently is just awful. I'm not a big fan of Raulian Paiva versus Sean O'Malley. And I know people think it's because you want to see Sean O'Malley lose. That's not even the truth. I've said this many, many times on my channel. My favorite thing about MMA when it comes to certain matchups is having questions answered. And I think Sean O'Malley looks pretty good, but I'm not sure how good, and I want to see him test it. And Raulian Paiva is not a good test at all. If he beats Raulian Paiva, I know no more about him than I did yesterday. So, But I will say yes. O'Malley versus Yanez will happen next. I'll say yes, that happens. Mokaev versus Cody prediction. I don't know, man. I got to dive into that a little bit more. But I'll tell you, Cody does not impress me at all. So I'd probably go Mokaev. I just think he's okay, but I really don't think he's all that good. You know, I don't know if anybody's speculating that he's all that good, but I really don't think he really is that good. So let me pull up something real quick, guys. Keep the questions coming in the chat. Let's answer a question that I have in the title, because I always like to make sure I go through all the topics I have in the title. What is next for Jose Aldo? And I was going to make a video about this, but I've been so busy with UFC 269 prediction videos and whatnot that I did not get to it. Plus, I did the recent Khabib video, which is actually done pretty good. It's got a decent amount of dislikes. I'm looking at it right now. It's got 46 likes, 22 dislikes. But I think it needed to be said. You know, I hate when people don't want to criticize these fan favorite fighters just because they're scared of the cultist fan base. Again, I am a massive Khabib Nurmagomedov fan, but that doesn't change the fact that this event for Eagle FC is atrocious, should not be sanctioned. They're having it in Florida to run away from sanctions. I don't believe any other athletic commission, whether it be Las Vegas, California, or wherever, other than Texas and Florida, I don't believe the commission sanctions the fights that they have signed on that Eagle FC card. So after this chat, guys, if you haven't checked out my UFC 269 predictions, as well as the Khabib Nurmagomedov video, I encourage you to do so. I work hard on those videos, so I would appreciate you guys to go check them out. But right now I am pulling up the current UFC rankings because I believe I have two options for what's next for Jose Aldo. And they're both great matchups, honestly. And I'm sure you guys know at least one of them. And we've talked about it a little bit. So you look at the division. It's just so crazy to me that Jose Aldo is fighting at 135. So Jose Aldo, there's really two options. Because you look at the division, Aljamain Sterling's fighting Petr Yan. I don't think Aldo is going to walk into a title shot. Number one, well, I guess number two guy, because Petr Yan's number one and he's the interim champion. What a bizarre world we're living in. Number two guy is Tj Dillashaw. Number three guy is Jose Aldo. Both of them need a fight. Aljamain and Petr Yan aren't fighting till February. So guess what? Jose Aldo called out Tj Dillashaw. What an absolute savage move by Jose Aldo to call out Tj Dillashaw. What a fight. What a fight that would be. Sign me up. That's the fight that I want to see. Former champ Tj Dillashaw coming off a very controversial win over Corey Sandhagen, one which I thought he lost and clearly lost. I did not think it was up for debate. Versus Jose Aldo, who's on this nice, I think, 3-fight win streak against Marlon Vera, Pedro Munoz, and now Rob Font. And that Rob Font win, I did a post-fight. I went over it multiple times. So impressive. Jose Aldo took a lot of shots in that fight, and then when he needed to, he hurt Rob Font badly. And just, I thought he won 4 out of 5, bare minimum. He could have won 5 out of 5 rounds. And for him to win the 4th and 5th round, albeit he didn't have the best stamina in the 5th round, especially he laid on Font after he hurt him. It was a great win. I'd love to see Jose Aldo versus Tj Dillashaw. I have a feeling that Tj Dillashaw is going to try to shy away from that. I do not think that Tj Dillashaw is going to he's going to want that fight. I think he wants to wait for the winner of Aljo versus Petr Yan and get that title shot. He's saying, I'm a former champion. I think Dillashaw should have to win 2 fights, honestly. I think he has to win 2 fights to get him a title shot. He won one against Corey Sandhagen, even though very controversial in my opinion. But sign me up for that. The other matchup I came up with, because you look at number 4 is Corey Sandhagen. He's coming off a loss to Petr Yan. That really doesn't make sense right now. The other fight I want to see, and we've talked about this on one of the streams I did since then, give me Corey Sandhagen versus Rob Font. Number 4 and number 5 makes perfect sense. Number 7, Cody Garbrandt is down to flyweight. Remove him from the rankings, please. 8 and 9, Dominic Cruz and Pedro Munoz are fighting each other. So he could fight the winner of that, but that's not the fight that I want to see. The fight that I want to see if Jose Aldo does not fight Tj Dillashaw is Jose Aldo versus Marab Devolish. I think that would be an amazing fight. I think that Jose Aldo wins that fight, but if Marab can get him to that 4th or 5th round, that's going to be scary. That's going to be very scary. Marab had that amazing performance against Marlon Moraes in his last fight. Somehow survives the early onslaught. The ref doesn't stop it, and then comes on to beat Marlon Moraes. That was an excellent fight. I had picked Marlon Moraes in that fight, but I was wrong. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to see Jose Aldo versus Marab Devolish? I do. So there are the really two options. Jose Aldo versus Marab or Jose Aldo versus Tj Dillashaw. I think that's what's next for Jose Aldo. Let's keep looking at your questions. Guys, do not forget to like the stream. If you have not liked the stream already, I would appreciate it if you did so. Do you think Askarov will need to fight again before a title shot? For sure. He was scheduled to fight Alex Perez not too long ago. I don't remember exactly when it was. It was within the last 6 months, I believe. And it got canceled for whatever reason. And maybe Alex Perez wins this weekend. They rebook it. Maybe. But I think yes. The flyweight division is in a weird way, it's log jammed. Because you have Brandon Moreno versus Davison. If Moreno wins, Pantoja is kind of waiting in the wings. He has 2 wins over the current champion. How is he not in line? And he's on a winning streak. Then if Cody wins this weekend, Cody's right up there for a title shot. I know, that off of merit probably shouldn't be, but I guarantee you Cody wins this weekend. And then if Davison wins, we're going to see a 4th fight. Jeez, they've already fought. They would have fought 3 times. That's crazy. That is insane. So, yeah, the division's in a little bit of a weird spot right now, but I think Askarov has to fight one more time. What's up, Tommy? Appreciate you, my friend. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Thanks for supporting the channel. Do you think Jan versus Aldo 2 will be more competitive? Man, I picked Jan to beat him in that first fight. I think I'd pick Jan to beat him again. I think the first fight was very competitive, but as Aldo started to fade, we've seen Jan does not fade. He can put out that high output for 5 rounds. So I probably see it, unfortunately, going the same way as the first fight, where it's very competitive early on. Jan starts making adjustments, making reads. Aldo starts to fade a little bit, and I think Jan finishes him in the 4th or 5th. If I had to go with a prediction right now, that's what I would go with. I think Askarov will fight Alex Perez if he wins this weekend. Makes perfect sense. Where'd you get that idea from? Let me move this a little bit out of the way. Guys, how does the audio sound? Let me know how the audio sounds on this. I hope nothing sounds too low or there's any noise or anything. So let me know in the chat how the audio sounds. What's up, Joey Steen? Thank you for being part of the channel. Thank you for coming to the live stream every Wednesday. I do these streams, so make sure you come back next week. What's up, Sean Johnson? Big supporter of the channel. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Guys, don't forget also, I've already scheduled it on the channel. UFC 269 live post-fight. So as soon as the card ends, I will be getting on here and giving my live reaction to UFC 269. So do not forget to join me. I used to record a video. It'd be like 45 minutes. I post my video. Everyone's already asleep. I decided to start for big events doing live streams for the post-fight. So Saturday night, roughly 1 a.m., I will be getting on here for a post-fight. As soon as the fight card ends, as soon as we get the post-fight interviews, give me like 5 minutes and I will be up here and I will be streaming, hopefully. If not, then I must have died. Can Dan Hooker beat a top 5 145er? Let me take a look. Dan Hooker versus Max Holloway, and he loses. Brian Ortega is probably his best chance, but I think he loses to Ortega. Yair, he loses. Chan Sung Jung, he loses. Calvin Cater loses. I think best case scenario, maybe he can beat Brian Ortega, but I don't think, I'll say no. I don't think he beats a top 5. Cody versus Askar would be great stylistic fight. I'd love that fight. That'd be fun. Askar is really, really good, and I don't think he gets enough respect. So I'd love to see that fight. But I think if Cody wins impressively this Saturday and Brandon Moreno wins, they may give Cody the next title shot. What do you think of the Magny Hamzat situation? I think Dana White is selling Wolf's tickets. Shout out Nick Diaz. Nothing but Wolf's tickets here. Magny has been willing to fight Hamzat Chimaev for a year now. I have no reason to doubt him. Dana's even backed him up before. Dana is a promoter, and he's out there saying nobody wants to fight Hamzat Chimaev, when I'm sure there's plenty of people that will sign up to fight Hamzat Chimaev. It's just a way of promoting him. Maybe they offered somebody in the top 5 a fight and they turned it down because of timing or whatever. And now the narrative is nobody wants to fight him. They're just promoting him. I think Magny will definitely step in and fight him. I don't think the UFC nor Hamzat is avoiding Magny because of a stylistic nightmare or anything like that. I think Hamzat wrecks Neil Magny, but I think Hamzat in the UFC is looking for a bigger name opponent than Magny. But stop with the nonsense that no one wants to fight Hamzat. Stop. It's not true. Audio sounds good to me. Thank you, Niles. Very much appreciate you. What's next for Dominic Cruz if he wins against Pedro Munoz? What's next for Dominic Cruz? Oh, I don't know, man. Maybe Marlon Vera fight. I'd love to see a Sean O'Malley fight. I wanted Dominic Cruz versus Sean O'Malley. That's the fight I wanted for this card. It pisses me off that we got Pedro Munoz, Dominic Cruz, and Sean O'Malley fighting on the same card, and Sean O'Malley's fighting neither one of them. I almost wish Paiva would pull out, and then hopefully the UFC would stuff Cruz or Pedro in there. Favorite place to visit? I don't necessarily have a favorite place to visit. Sorry, my friend. Maybe Ocean City, Maryland? I don't know. I haven't been to very many places. I haven't been to a lot of places, so I'm not a big vacation guy. Do you believe Oliveira when he says he will clean out the division? Do you think he can? I believe that he means it. I'm not 100% sure that he can. He definitely means what he says. And he definitely thinks he can. And I think he definitely plans to. He's still young. But I don't know if he has the ability to. I mean, there's so many tough guys between Dustin, Gaethje, Islam, Beneil. Guys making their way up the ranks. Fiziev, Gregor, Gillespie. Right now, I would favor Oliveira to beat a lot of those guys. But there are a lot of tough fights. And eventually you're going to lose. But I believe he's going to try to. I don't believe he's going to be one of those guys that's going to win a one fight and say he wants to move up. Did you know that Askar is deaf? Yes, I did. I think he's just partially deaf. But he's a large percentage deaf. What's up, Edson Jr.? I can always count on you to come around when we got a Brazilian champion in the main event. How are you doing, Edson? Thank you, man, for your support. I appreciate you very much, Edson. I want Charles to win, but I think Dustin will put him out. I just don't see it, man. The one thing, when I do these prediction videos, and I already did a prediction video for Dustin versus Charles. When I do these prediction videos, I try not to make them too long. And I try to find that balance of too much without, too little, And in that video, I forgot to say, as soon as I ended it, I realized one nightmare for Dustin, or one nightmare for Charles against Dustin, is if Dustin hurts him. Hold on. What a nightmare this is. If Dustin hurts Charles Oliveira, Dustin will not take his foot off the gas. Dustin will swarm him for 4 minutes straight looking for the finish. Michael Chandler hurt him badly, started to get tired looking for the finish. Dustin will not get tired. He will swarm him for 4 minutes straight until the bell ends or the referee pulls him off. So I truly believe if Dustin Poirier hurts Charles Oliveira in this fight, I think Dustin Poirier wins. But I just think that Dustin is getting a little bit too much. I think the wins over Conor were very good. Okay? But me being who I am, who's never been a big believer in Conor McGregor, hot take, I'm not a big believer in Conor's skill set ever. I think he's a great fighter, but, I'm not into all this hype. I don't think those 2 wins over Conor, who I also believe is partially washed up at this point, and I was a big believer in him when he was elite or when he was champ. How much credit can I really give Dustin? And Dustin's striking is good, but he gets lit up quite a bit. I mean, look at the Justin Gaethje fight, lit up. Look at the even in the both Conor fights, Conor landed some good strikes. Not much in the second one, but in the first one, uh, Dan Hooker lit up quite a bit. So I think Charles Oliveira is just so technical. I believe he's so well rounded. He has great jiu-jitsu. He has great striking. The left hook, the leaping left hook is just perfect. He in every single time, every single fight out. I've mentioned this about Charles Oliveira since I started the channel. Every single time this man comes out, he's improved a bit. And that is a attribute of a champion. And this guy, every single fight out, you can notice a tangible improvement in his skill set. And I can't wait to see how he looks against Dustin. I think he's going to come out there. I think in my official prediction, I said second round submission or maybe third round. I think Charles hurts him badly on the feet. I think people think Dustin's some super technical striker, and he's a good striker. He's not super wild. But a lot of his punches are these wild, wide looping punches that take a little bit to get there. And Charles Oliveira has these nice straights, these jabs, these crisp left hook, straight right hand, great teep kicks to the body, these wild techniques where if he hurts Dustin, he also won't take his foot off the gas. And if Dustin ends up looking for a clinch or looking to grab the legs, Charles Oliveira is going to snatch that guillotine up on Dustin Poirier, and it's going to be over like that. And I'm just such a big believer in Charles Oliveira, and I think he'll get it done. But if Dustin does hurts him pretty badly in the fight at all, I think Dustin probably wins. I think if it goes long, people are questioning Charles Oliveira's gas tank, and I think that is a legitimate question considering he's never been in the fourth or fifth round. But I think that's Dustin's best path to victory. I think if Dustin wins, he finishes him in the fourth or fifth. Like, if you really believe in Dustin and you really think he's going to get the job done and you want to bet on Dustin Poirier, I would bet on him to get the TKO in the fourth or fifth round. That's what I would go with. Do you think Dustin will fight standing like he did with other fighters? Most of them were boxers, kickboxers. Yeah, I think Dustin's plan is to come in and strike. I think that's Dustin's plan. And that's what I mentioned in the prediction video too. I hope you watched the prediction video, Edson. There is a different way that you can strike when you're not worried about the takedown. Charles Oliveira can stand there in the pocket and strike with you and not worried about getting taken down because he's so confident off his back. And it's just a different level to it because you're so worry-free in that pocket just trading with guys. Because you're like, if he takes me down, I'll submit him, And that's just, a different level. And I really believe that gives Edson a massive edge. But I really do think that Dustin's coming in. The goal is to survive the early onslaught, stay away from the ground, stay away from anything with Charles Oliveira, get into the later rounds and look for the finish. Who do you Charles fight week? I can't think of anything else. Yeah, dude, I'm so excited for this fight. This is one of my favorite matchups of the whole year. Who do you think in each division can beat the most amount of ranked opponents? I don't know, man. That's a tough question. Can beat the most? I guess Piotr Jan, Alexander Volkanovski. Sorry, they're both champs. Gotta be Oliveira. Gotta be Usman. Adesanya. Most of them are going to be champions. Rockage for light heavyweight, so there's not a champion there. And then Cyril Gane. I'll say Cyril Gane for heavyweight. So there you go. There you go, my friend. Guys, if you're watching the stream for the first time and you're not subscribed, go subscribe and turn on notifications. I do these streams every Wednesday. I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe and like the video. Tiramisu, thank you for being a member. Yo, champ, your recent Khabib video is good. Thank you, man. Thank you. Somebody had to say it, and I know people are going to disagree with me, and there's the Khabib Nurmagomedov cultists that are going to get mad at me and say, you don't talk about Khabib like that and this and that. But what's going on with that event is disgusting. I've called out Triller for that, and I will call out Khabib for that. And again, I've told you guys this so many times. You can look up and down the internet and look at every single, MMA YouTuber, MMA media member, and they are so scared to say certain things because of backlash, not only from maybe a potential fighter, but from the fans of that fighter that has a cult following. I will never care. Even if you guys disagree with me, I will still say what I truly believe. And I believe that Ego FC event is disgusting. Is disgusting. Should not be sanctioned. And just because it's Khabib and he's a fan favorite and I like him very much as well, um, I just, it is what it is. So I appreciate you enjoying the video. Hank Hill, thank you so much for the super chat. Haven't watched your main event prediction yet. I will after this stream. Who you got? I'll be betting Charles via sub, but this seems like a toss-up. Hank Hill, thank you again. Thank you for the $5, my friend. Appreciate the super chat, man. I actually just went over it in detail, but I'll do it again for you just because of the super chat. I am taking Charles Oliveira, and I think he hurts Dustin on the feet, and he eventually grabs a submission as Dustin looks for a takedown or a clinch. I think Charles Oliveira. I think in my official prediction video, I went second round Oliveira submission, but I think it could happen in the first round too. I truly believe the difference in the fight, and I was just going over this, is Dustin is coming in, and he's coming in to strike. I think he's coming in to survive the early rounds, get into that third, fourth, and fifth round and really try to put it on Charles Oliveira and hope that his gas tank is not there. But I just believe, head-to-head striking, that Charles Oliveira's stand-up is better technically than Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier has great stand-up. He's super durable. He has great stamina. But I think Charles Oliveira is way more technical. And also, this was the main point I was just honing in on right before you came in. And that was that there is a different way you can throw your hands and your strikes, your kicks, your punches, your combinations when you're not worried about getting taken down. Dustin Poirier can take Charles down for sure. But Charles Oliveira welcomes it. He welcomes getting taken down because he knows he can get up. He knows he can look for submissions. One area that I mentioned in that prediction video, actually, that I'm a little bit nervous is sometimes Charles Oliveira is just so determined to get these submissions. He'll be looking for a leg lock, knee bar, heel hook, whatever. And, when they got both arms tied up, they leave their chin exposed out there. And if you look back, and I mentioned this in the video as well, the pre-fight prediction, Alan Belcher versus Rousimar Palhares. And we've seen guys get ground and pounded to hell while spamming for submissions. And I hope that he doesn't. I hope he's smart enough not to do it in this fight. But I got Charles via sub as well. Okay. Thoughts on Dustin being the betting favorite over Charles? I kind of get it. I think that has to do with the hype that Dustin has absorbed from finishing Conor McGregor twice, if I'm honest. I think that's what it's from. I don't think he did. I mean, they're great wins. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I think that Dustin had great wins over Conor, and I think Conor's still a decent fighter. But come on now. Charles Oliveira's out there on this massive win streak. I think Charles Oliveira would have finished Conor twice as well. So I think he gets a little bit too much hype for finishing a superstar. But Dustin, as much as this almost sounds like I'm shitting on him right there, Dustin deserves the hype, though. I mean, look at his resume. This guy is one of the greatest lightweights of all time. He's fought in the who's who in the division, former champs constantly, always taking the toughest fights. So I respect it. I think a lot of people just think he's so durable, and I think people think it'll come down to the stamina issue. Charles needs to fight Dustin how he fought Tony, not how he fought Chandler. I don't think it necessarily matters, but I think he needs to be a little bit more defensively responsible because I said it already like 5 times. If Dustin hurts him, I'm telling you, if Dustin hurts Charles in this fight, I think it's over. Because Dustin is not going to slow down. Like Chandler hurt him and then started to slow down it, looking for the finish. I think Dustin will not. He will not stop until he gets that finish. Dustin went 5 rounds with Max and want gas so that the later it goes, the more I favor him. Agree. We know Nate only has 1 fight left on his contract. Do you think we will only see Nate in the octagon one more time? It's hard to say. Maybe. The UFC wants to keep him on that. That's why they wanted the Hamza Chimaev fight. They wanted to they want negotiating power over top of him. So I'm going to say no. I think we see Nate more times. I think the UFC will find a way to lock him up. Do you have a favorite fighter? For a while it was Robbie Lawler. He's still one of my. I just have a bunch of favorite fighters, to be honest. For a while it was Robbie Lawler. For a while it was Anderson Silva, still one of my favorites. John Jones, one of my favorites to watch. Not don't necessarily like him as a person. Tony Ferguson, Habib was probably when Habib retired. Last year. At that point, Habib was probably my favorite fighter to watch. I know that's probably a bit of a hot take right there because some people don't like the way he fought, but I really enjoyed watching Habib fight. But for more or less for me now, it's just about loving to watch guys fight. Like I don't necessarily, you know, there's certain guys that are more likable to others, but I feel like it's not like I'm. If I had to pinpoint an active fighter who's my favorite right now, an active fighter who's my favorite fighter, I'd probably say Jose Aldo, to be honest. And I know that's recency bias a little bit, but I've always loved Jose Aldo. He's just so humble. He's so elite. The longevity of the guy. You just got to respect the guy. And he's always been one of my favorites for a long, long time. So if I had to pinpoint one right now, probably Jose Aldo. I also like Charles Oliveira quite a bit, but that's not the reason I'm picking him. I say that all the time. I'm not picking guys based on who I want to win. I am picking guys based on what I see and what I think is actually going to happen. So I also a big fan of Uriah Prochazka as well. Uriah Prochazka, I don't think there's anyone that dislikes Uriah Prochazka. So the Habib call, it's true, man. It's true. There's a Habib call. Joey, you have to score your hit percentage on betting videos. You are very good at that. I don't even know what that means, score your hit percentage. I am 28-11 in main event predictions for this year and 13-5 in title fights. I'm going to be keeping track of it all next year as well, but that's a pretty damn good record, and most of it's documented on the channel. Who do you think wins in a MMA fight between Tyson Fury versus Derek Lewis? Probably, I don't know, man. I'll say Tyson Fury, but probably Derek Lewis, to be honest. Probably knocks him down and or clinches up with him and beats him up in the clinch and then drops him. If the fight was Charles versus Islam, who would you bet on? Damn, depends on the odds. But probably Charles. I really hope you're right about Charles winning, but I just don't see it happening. It's a close to a 50-50 fight. It's as close to a 50-50 fight. It's all about if Charles can get him out of there early. If Charles doesn't get him out of there early, starts to get to the third round, and it's a tough fight, I'm going to be very leery of my prediction. So we'll see. We will see. Does O'Malley beat anyone in the top 15 unranked champion? That's hilarious. Let's see. Does O'Malley beat anyone in the top 15? Probably. Let me just go through it. Right now, I would not favor him to beat Aljamain Sterling. I would not favor him to beat Petr Yan. I would not favor him to beat Tj Dillashaw. I would not favor him to beat Jose Aldo. Would not favor him to beat Corey Sandhagen. Would not favor him to beat Rob Font. Would not favor him to beat Marab Devolish. I'm going to skip Cody Garbrandt because he's no longer in the division. Would not favor him to beat Pedro Munoz. I think the Dominic Cruz fight is winnable for him. I think the Marlon Moraes, he probably beats Marlon Moraes. He's so chinny at this point. But I'm wondering about O'Malley's wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So that's it. I'll say that's a 50-50. Marlon Vera, I think he loses to. Rafael Sunsao, I think he loses to. Frankie Edgar, I think he wins. Song Yadong, I think he wins. And Cody Stamann, I think he wins. Or Stamen, however you pronounce it. So yes, he does beat a couple guys in the top 15. Let's see. I agree with your opinion, brother. Thank you, Hank Hill. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks again for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. I hope you like the gift that now pops up on the screen along with your message. Charles is Dustin's worst matchup since Habib, in my opinion. 100%. 100% that's his worst matchup. Just too technical and can't mix in the grappling on Charles, I don't believe. But Dustin has good jiu-jitsu too, so we'll see. How does Gaethje do against Oliveira, and how does Islam do against Dustin? I think Islam beats Dustin. I think he takes him down and submits him. I think Gaethje probably beats Oliveira. But that's very, very tough fight to pick, and I reserve the right to change my mind on that one. But right now, gun to my head, you say pick one or the other. You have 5 seconds to choose. I'm picking Justin Gaethje. I just think I know Justin Gaethje got treated like a baby on the ground against Justin Gaethje, or against Khabib Nurmagomedov. But Charles Oliveira doesn't have takedowns like Khabib. I think Gaethje could stuff the takedowns and outwork Oliveira on the feet. I think I would probably pick Justin Gaethje in that fight against Oliveira, and I think Justin Gaethje may be on his if I think Gaethje has a better chance of beating Oliveira than beating Dustin, and I think Charles has a better chance of beating Dustin than Justin has against Dustin. So it just goes to show you MMA math does not work at all. I hope that all made sense to you. Okay, I already read that. Khabib's last fights were fun to watch. Islam, on the other hand, is boring. I liked Islam's last fight, but he hasn't been in a lot of barn burners, that's for sure. What's up, Torin Brown? Hope you're doing well. If Oliveira can win impressively, think he can gain some momentum and go on a big run as champ. His submission ability and threat is one of the fear tools that make people fight different. If Oliveira can win impressively, I think he can gain some momentum and go on a big run as champ. His submission ability and threats is one of those fear tools that can make people fight different. Agreed 100%. But it's all about that Gaethje fight. Right now, looking at the division, I favor Charles to beat Dustin. I favor him to beat Beneil. I favor him to beat Islam. I favor him to beat Chandler in a rematch. He's already beat Tony Ferguson. I think he would beat Rafael Dos Anjos. The toughest test for me, if Charles Oliveira beats Dustin and beats Justin, I don't think he loses for a while. But the Islam Makhachev would be a fun fight for sure. Guys, keep filling the chat with questions. I greatly appreciate you. I got Charles Oliveira round 1 KO. That would be crazy. Eventually, that chin's got to give out. Dustin has taken so much damage over the years. I'm not going to lie. I like both guys quite a bit. I like Charles Oliveira, and I like Dustin Poirier quite a bit. So, it's going to be sad to see either guy lose. I was really sad. I rooted for Khabib to beat Dustin in their fight, but it was sad seeing Dustin lose like that. You can just tell, man, that's his dream right there. To see a guy lose his dream and, be such a great guy, it seems like it sucks to see either one of these guys lose, to be honest. This is one of those fights for me, it just sucks to see either guy lose. You wish they both could win somehow. Sean O'Malley said he's the only one who can beat Petr Yan. What do you think about that? I don't think he beat Jose Aldo. Who do you not think beat Jose Aldo? Because Petr Yan has a win over Jose Aldo. But I don't think anybody beats Petr Yan. So I think Sean O'Malley would get wrecked by Petr Yan in more ways than one. So I think we need more. I think we need to see more from Sugar before we see a ceiling. I agree. What sucks about it is I don't feel like no matter how he looks against Paiva, again, there's people out there who are selling a false narrative that Paiva is a tough test for O'Malley. And they're doing it and they're acting like Paiva's so good so that when O'Malley wins, they can pretend like O'Malley's tested and O'Malley's got a great win under his record right now. He beat a guy that's, whatever, a great fighter, and they can pretend like the dude isn't a can crusher. The guy's been beating up nothing but trash cans. And I think Paiva's a step above a trash can, but at the same time, it's still not a test. If O'Malley does anything but go out there and starch him in the first round, I'm unimpressed. And it's not because I'm a hater. That's my general feel on it. And if by some chance Paiva goes out there and beats O'Malley, I think I have grossly overestimated Sean O'Malley's skills. It's more of an indictment on O'Malley's skill set than Paiva. So if Paiva wins, I don't think it's because Paiva's great. I think it's because O'Malley isn't that good. But we will see. We will see. I know everyone has a difference of an opinion, but that's just mine personally. And I'm honestly not saying that just because I don't like O'Malley. If O'Malley goes out there and really proves something to me, again, I'm nobody. I'm just on the internet just giving my opinion. But if he proves something to me when I watch him fight, I will be the first to say, oh, I think he's championship material. I think he can beat Petr Yan. I think he can beat this guy or that guy. I'm not just saying I don't trust his skill set because I just don't like him. That's not it. I mean, I actually love watching Sean O'Malley fight. He's got a very fun style. I think that's why he's popular, because he's got that flashy, long range, accurate, heavy power, varied of attacks style that a lot of people like to watch. Keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. I'm falling behind a little bit, but keep them coming. I love when I have a bunch of questions in the chat. Guys, if you haven't already, like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it if you like the stream. Helps push it out to more people. And I would greatly appreciate it. Also, guys, if you want to message me directly on Saturday night, we have a members-only Discord. It comes with a bunch of other benefits. It costs basically nothing. You can join anytime. You can leave anytime. And once you become a member one time, you'll be part of the members-only Discord forever, even if you're not a member anymore. The link is in the description. You get a bunch of loyalty badges and custom emojis. Plus, it'll play an awesome GIF in the live stream if you become a member. It's just a great way to support the channel. Let's move on. Okay. How am I falling behind here so much? It's crazy how Charles is a champion and everyone is overlooking him against Dustin. Charles Oliveira is going to turn some heads Saturday night. Shut up all the naysayers. It will be super impressive. He goes out there and beats Dustin the way I think he will. People are not going to be doubting him anymore, for sure. But there's a lot of people overlooking him. I think Michael Chandler will never be a UFC champion. He's 35 years old, and he's a one-round fighter. He won't change at this age. Yeah, I doubt he's ever going to be champion. I agree with you very, very much. I mean, he was very close, and I respect Michael Chandler very much, but I don't think he's ever going to be champ. But who knows? Crazier things have happened. Look at Glover Teixeira at 42 years old winning the belt. So I think Charles beat Justin Gaethje fairly easily. I don't know, man. I think that's a very tough fight. Very, very tough fight. Edson 100%. I don't know what we're talking about there. I disagree about Islam and Habib. I like Islam more than Habib. He is on a current 3-fight win streak. I thought he's on a longer win streak than that. But Habib, I love Habib's pressure style. I love Habib's pressure style. Who's next for Tony Ferguson? I want the Nate Diaz fight. Give me Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. That's what I want badly. That's what I really, really want badly. I mean, who doesn't want to see that fight, honestly? Who does not want to see that fight? Because I do. Sorry, guys. I'm falling behind. Who do you see Rafael Fiziev doing against other lightweights if all fights were 3 rounds? I think he can be very competitive. And Yusuf, if Yusuf is still in here, do you remember a long while ago on this very channel, on a live stream, you said to me, who do you see that's unranked right now that could be a potential future champion? And one of the names that I named was Rafael Fiziev. So I can't wait to see who he fights next. I would like to see him fight like a Gregor Gillespie or an RDA even, or a Chandler even. But I think he can work on the cardio, and I think the cardio issue is a bit over exaggerated, to be quite honest. Hello, fight fans, it's time. What's up, Heights? Hope you're doing well. Maybe Dustin retires if he loses. Just saying. I doubt it. I think Dustin's probably going to go fight McGregor again if he loses to get that paycheck, and still unranked champion. McGregor coach recently announced in an interview with Arrow that he likes Ferguson for Conor as the next opponent. I would love that fight. I think that's a great matchup. I think it would sell a lot of pay-per-views. I mean, the press conference itself, I would pay for the press conference for $10. How do I keep losing my spot? Even if Dustin doesn't do well at welterweight, would you want to see him there if he loses? No, I don't think he's going to do well there at all. I don't think he would want to go there. I think he'd look almost fat at welterweight, honestly. He looks real cut up at lightweight. I think that's where he belongs. MMA is crazy. Saturday they can go up there and anyone can win with one punch, and all our great analysis goes down the drain. Very, very true. Very, very true. O'Malley will get a jump up after this one for sure. Yeah, it seems like we've been saying that forever. I mean, he's 8 fights in now. 8 fights in. I haven't seen enough of O'Malley fight to know how good or bad he is. I like all the pretty colors, though. I love how Piotr Jan calls him a poodle. That is absolutely hilarious. Because Sean O'Malley recently, I mean, he's been calling Sean O'Malley out for a while, but O'Malley recently said, I'm the only guy that can beat Piotr Jan. I'm a different animal. And Jan quoted the ESPN clip and said, yeah, we all know what kind of animal he is, and put an emoji of a poodle. which is just hilarious. Fight Conor a third time. Yeah, I can see that happening. You mean fourth time? Between Amanda Nunez versus Brandon Moreno, who would you bet on? I'd probably go Amanda Nunez. Dustin will Charles. He will break. Okay. It seems like you always picking against Charles, Yusuf. How many more fights does Darren Till have to lose to be cut? I'll say 2. He'll have to lose to Uriah Hall and then lose one more. What's up, John Rod? Thank you for joining the stream. Tony versus Nate. Hell yeah, that's the fight I want bad. What makes you feel Justin Gaethje is a dangerous fight for Charles Oliveira? Please explain. I think Justin Gaethje will outstrike Charles Oliveira on the feet, and I think Justin Gaethje has good takedown defense. I know he got mauled by Khabib Nurmagomedov, but Oliveira doesn't have the same offensive takedowns that Khabib Nurmagomedov does. So I just think that Justin Gaethje is the absolute toughest matchup for Charles Oliveira right now, in my opinion. I want to see Tony versus Conor next. I love them all. Is Nate's last fight at lightweight or welterweight? His last fight, are you asking what was his last fight or what is going to be his last fight on his UFC contract? I think the answer to both of those questions is welterweight. Fiziev versus Chandler, please. I would love that. I doubt Chandler wants that fight. Tony versus Nick. I don't have no desire to see Nick fight ever again. I have no desire to see Nick fight ever again. Hold on one second. Again, I was one of the only people saying that Nick quit in that fight. I mean, he quit against Robbie Lawler. He shouldn't be in there anymore. I have no desire to see. I'm a huge Nick Diaz fan, but I have no desire to see him fight anyone again. And I think Tony beats the living shit out of him as well. Prime Nick versus Prime Tony, I'd love it. Conor versus Aldo 2 at lightweight. Yeah, but Jose Aldo is all the way down at bantamweight now, so I doubt that ever happens. Joey, how do you see a matchup between Gamrot and Joel Alvarez going? Doesn't Gamrot have a fight coming up? Who's Gamrot fighting? Isn't he next week or something? Mateus Gamrot. Who is he fighting and when is he fighting? Yeah, he's fighting next week against Carlos Diego Fajeda. I don't know, man. That's a tough matchup. I'll go Gamrot. I think Gamrot beats Joel Alvarez. I just think he's a little bit better. Everywhere. But I had to dig into that matchup a little bit more. Plus, Joel Alvarez has the weight miss. Who knows if he's going to be fighting at 55 anymore. But Mateus Gamrot is on a nice little streak now. We'll see. You know, he's only 3 fights in the UFC, and he lost to... Who is this guy he lost to back in October of 2020? I don't even remember that fight. But again, also Gamrot's best win is against Jeremy Stephens. I don't think we can put too much stock into that at all. Fourth, yeah, sorry. What's up, Matt? Hope you're doing well. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Your thought? I have no excitement for it at all. Don't plan to watch it at all. Happy they're all making money. But for me, it's just a circus show. What I care about is UFC 269. Who's your pick for Charles and Dustin? Matt, make sure you go watch my prediction video after this stream, but I am picking Charles Oliveira via submission. I think he's just overall the better technical striker. I think he hurts him on the feet and then eventually submits him. Who's next for Amanda if she wins on Saturday? I am going to throw a wild card matchup out there for Amanda Nunez if she beats... Hold on, wait. Let me make sure I read that right. Yeah, if she beats Juliana Pena, I think we will see Amanda Nunez versus Kayla Harrison at 145. That's who's next. I'm asking about Nate's fight on his contract, but you answered already. Joel Alvarez should never be given a fight at 55 again. He has missed weight in back-to-back fights, but still finished both guys. He's the definition of a weight bully. I didn't realize it was 2 fights in a row. I actually forgot that. I knew it was the last fight. Big win over Thiago Moises, though. Charles Oliveira is so well-rounded. His toughness has improved also. Yeah, I mean, he's just so good everywhere. Charles Oliveira, okay, I already read that. French fries, Amanda Nunez versus Francis Ngannou next. That would be hilarious. Why do you think all the lightweight fighters are betting on Dustin? I think it's the recency bias. You know, the big win over Conor. You know, beat him twice this year. Conor's this mega superstar. And for some reason, the benefits of beating a guy like that garners you a lot of hype. Plus, the resume is just insane for Dustin. Plus, people just like the guy, so they're going to pick him just because they like him as well. But, I mean, I think he has a legitimate chance to win. I think he has a legit chance to win. I think this is as close to a 50-50 fight as you're ever going to find. Honestly, should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. Can't wait for Saturday. By the way, guys, I mentioned this once already, but I'm going to mention it again. Live on Saturday night, immediately following the fights, I will be doing a live post-fight about 1 a.m. Eastern time. So as soon as the fights end, I want you guys to come on over to my channel and watch the post-fight. And I'll be answering all your questions. I'll be going over all the fights first, and then I'll be going through the chat and answering all your guys' questions. I already scheduled it on the channel. You can go find it after this, and you can set a reminder, and it'll remind you. Or you can make sure you turn on notifications. But 1 a.m., I will be live on the stream talking about UFC 269. So just remember that, guys, for Saturday night. Let's actually do a poll real quick. I've been doing polls recently. Who wins the UFC 269 main event? Charlie Olives, Dustin Poirier. As I'm posting this in the tab here, I did a poll on my channel as well. Gamrat lost to Gonzalez in 1964. Nunez versus James Vick next. James Vick is probably already in a retirement home right now. He only missed by 2 pounds. I don't think it's a huge deal yet. But yeah, they sign these fights a month in advances. I have no sympathy for these guys. William Knight got the upset decision last fight. Did you see this, and what's next for him? I did see this. I'm not sure what's next for him, man. I'm not sure what's next for him, to be quite honest. It's tough matching up some of these guys, especially when they're out of the rankings and stuff like that, because there's so many fights that make sense, honestly. So I have to put some more thought into that, and I'll see if I can get you an answer a little bit later. I think Charles can do well against Justin standing. He will not get outstruck. Okay. People forget Dustin went life and death with Dan Hooker. Beating McGregor does nothing for me. Very true. Very true. Dan Hooker almost stopped him multiple times. I think Kara France is a good bet as a dog. What do you think? I think Kara France loses. So I'm going to say no. Who was an underdog that I thought should... I think Dan Ige. Somebody said, I think I heard Dan Ige's an underdog. If Dan Ige's a massive underdog, I would bet on Dan Ige immediately. Immediately. Dan Ige, I think, wins that fight against Josh Emmett. So maybe I'm wrong, but if you're a betting man, I would consider that one. I'm flipping a coin on who before I answer the poll. I got a feeling Cody G is going to lose against France by KO first round. He should have kept his butt at 135. No, I think he beats Kara France. I think he's superior everywhere. Unless the weight cut is so detrimental to him, which could be potentially true, then I would pick Cody Garbrandt. I mean, Kara France is not that great. He gets clipped up in every fight he fights in against guys who are nowhere near the level of striker Cody Garbrandt is. So I am very, very confident in that case of, Cody Garbrandt beating Kara France. I'm pretty confident in Dan Ige as well. Let me look up. I'll pull up on Tapology the odds. So Dan Ige is a slight underdog, a plus 180. I don't know how good that is. I'm not a big betting guy. I'd take those odds. All right, guys, if you haven't, go vote in the main event poll real quick before I end it. If Paulo Costa goes light heavyweight, who is his first matchup? Give him Jamal Hill. I would love that fight. Jamal Hill would be awesome. If Burns first Hamza doesn't get made, who should be next for Burns? Great question. Great question. If Burns doesn't get Hamza, give him Colby Covington. Let's see him versus Colby Covington. Two guys who've lost to Usman, looking for a rebound. I'd say let him fight Covington next. All right, looks like the majority of people are picking Charlie Olives. William Knight versus John Jones. No. What makes me most afraid of Charles losing is the MMA guru bet on Charles. It's funny. People say that with Chael Sonnen's picks too. Well, Edson, you can rest easy, man. I predicted Charles, so I have a good track record of who's gonna win. So, uh, Charles is the underdog, so I bet that. Heads, I picked Dustin. Any idea who Uriah Hall is fighting? I've never heard of him. Matt Schnell. No, it's not Matt Schnell. Who is he fighting again? That's Alex Perez is fighting Matt Schnell. Derek Minner. Yeah, Derek Minner has been around for a little bit. I can't remember. I think it was the TJ Laramine fight that I was really they looked really good on. But for me, I always feel like not Alex. I'm mixing up names here. I feel like Ryan Hall always gets a little bit too much hype. But I probably go Ryan Hall in that fight. I probably go Ryan Hall. But yes, I've heard of him. Yes, I've seen him fight. But off the top of my head, it's hard to remember all his performances. I usually rewatch fights right before them. You think Cody knocks out Kai Kara France? Yes, I do. Cody's chin's at 125 will be interesting to see. Very true. Brandon Moreno beating the shit out of Kai Kara France. Neal versus Pons is the hardest pick for me. Agreed. I went with Pons, but that one was the hardest one that I was choosing as well. I went with Ponzinibbio by decision. If Cody fought Moreno, he'd get KO'd immediately. Terrible boxing. I'm not sure about that. Hill would get knocked out against Costa. I don't know, man. Hill has super long limbs. How come nobody cares about Wonderboy versus Bilal? I don't know, man. I don't care about it either, to be quite frank. I think Bilal gets way too much credit. Wonderboy's on the downside of his career. In every fight, we had to hear about him letting his hands go. I don't know, but I don't like it. I don't care about it either. Paul Costa, light heavyweight, it won't even be in the top 15. I think he will. Into Thin Air. Oh, Joey, what's up, buddy? What's up, Into Thin Air? Appreciate you stopping by the stream, man. How are you doing? I hope all is well with you. I hope all is well. Both of them are boring and never get finishes. That fight is definitely going to decision. Yeah. But, I mean, who cares about Bilal? I mean, I don't personally. I don't get how a champion is an underdog. Sad Charles will get it done on Saturday. Will the prelims be on ESPN Plus this time? I'm not 100% sure on that, my friend. I'm not 100% sure. I think everything's on ESPN Plus, to be quite honest. I hate how you have to change it 18 damn times. But I'm not 100% sure. Let me actually go look. I'll tell you in a second. Keep the questions coming, guys. Keep the questions coming. I appreciate every single one of you for being part of the stream. Let me know in the chat. I don't know what time it is tomorrow. I have to see what time it is. But do you guys want a press conference stream tomorrow? There's a press conference tomorrow. Should I do a UFC 269 press conference live stream? Let me know in the chat right now if you want it. Tell me right now. Otherwise, you may not ever get it. I am pulling up this fight card real quick. The UFC's website, since they changed it, is terrible. Fight card. Okay, ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus. What? You're kidding me. The early prelims are on Fight Pass. So the early prelims, which is Andre Nunez versus Eric Anders, Miranda Maverick versus Aaron Blanchfield, Alex Perez versus Matt Schnell, Ryan Hall versus Derek Minner, Randy Costa versus Tony Kelly, Jillian Robertson versus Priscilla Cochira, all on Fight Pass. I thought all the fights were on ESPN Plus now. This is ridiculous. This is absolute ridiculous. I gotta sign up for 8 different things. I usually have Fight Pass, but right now I don't have them. It says the early prelims are only on Fight Pass. The early prelims. So I hope you're right. Let's see what you guys are saying. I like Cody G better at 135. Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prohaska. Who do you bet on? I might change my mind, but right now, Glover Teixeira, I think he'll take him down and beat him up. But Yuri Prochazka is going to be tough for Glover, especially early on. Maybe we get Tj Dillashaw versus Cody G3 if he returns back to 35. I think Neal comes out like a bat out of hell and knocks Ponzi out. I doubt it. What's next for Pedro if he loses to Dominic Cruz? That's going to be a tough loss. Maybe he fights Rafael Santel? Or we could see him versus Marlon Moraes. I hope they don't cut Marlon Moraes. If you want power, look at Luque. If you want cardio, look at Colby. If you want grappling, look at Hamza. If you want nothing at all, look at Below. I watch every fight every week on ESPN+. Okay, I hope you're right. How does O'Malley do versus Quarantillo? I think he boxes up Quarantillo. Why not? Yes. I'll tune in if you decide to do a press conference stream. All the fights are going to be on ESPN+. They always are. All the fights are on ESPN+ every week. I never have to switch anything when I watch events. No, what I meant is, hold on, let me look at something. Okay, I see. Thank you, French Fries, for sending me that on the Discord. What I meant by switching, I never had to switch to UFC Fight Pass, so I thought that was something new. But what I meant is within the ESPN+ app, you have to back out of the early prelims, click on the prelims. Back out of the prelims, click on the pay-per-view. It's infuriating. Regular prelims usually are on ESPN, not ESPN+. They always changing that shit. Does Pedro get cut if he loses to Cruz? Currently 1-4 of his last 5. I don't think so. I would hope not. But he could. But I would very, very hope not. I would hope. Billy Q, easy fight for Suga. Agreed. Priscilla Kuchera, the thing is ugly for her. Her ex-girlfriend accused her of hitting her. I did not hear that. That's terrible. Crystal Dime versus Jorge Hoover. Who wins? I have no idea. I have no clue on that one. Pedro won against Frankie. It was not competitive. Yeah, I thought Pedro beat him as well. You can believe O'Malley said he would beat Piotr Yan. How laughable is that? Yan would beat O'Malley like he stole something. Yo, Piotr Yan would wreck Sean O'Malley. I mean, seriously. Anybody right now that's telling you they're confident that O'Malley would beat Piotr Yan is on something. So, other thing I put in the title is Ken O'Malley. Hold on, I said O'Malley future champ. O'Malley champ ? And I think anyone, because there's a lot of people that are saying O'Malley has championship qualities. We have no idea where he's at skill-wise because he's fought nobodies. So he's looked super impressive. You know, but again, the level of competition is awful. So there's people who run through guys, and then they get to the UFC and they fight legit competition. O'Malley's obviously already in the UFC, but not fighting the greatest of competition. I think it's way too soon to tell. I'm not saying that he can't be. The skill set is very promising, but for people acting like O'Malley's already a future champ, I don't buy that at all. I think that's ridiculous. I hate sitting in the same position for too long. I still believe that TJ can get it done against Yan. I don't think so. I doubt it. When do you think O'Malley should fight a ranked opponent? Excuse me. After this next fight. Is Font who's next for Sandhagen? I think Rob Font versus Corey Sandhagen makes perfect sense. Hot take, Aljamain's worst matchup for Sean than Yan is. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's probably accurate, but I think they're both nightmare matchups for Sean. Yan is a different beast. Sugar will get smashed. I mean, in so many aspects, I think that he would get taken down. I think his legs would get kicked off. He'd probably be getting stretchered out again. I mean, okay, hold on. Let me get to this. Let me mark this. Let me mark this down real quick. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me put it this way. If Sean O'Malley fought Piotr Yan or Jose Aldo and he absorbed one of their leg kicks, I think he would fall to the ground in agony, and I think they would have to airlift him out of the arena. He would be stretchered out immediately, and he would have to be airlifted for immediate surgery at the local hospital. I just don't think Sean O'Malley would be competitive with Piotr Yan or Jose Aldo whatsoever. And that's just my opinion. Maybe you disagree, maybe you agree, but I think he'd be airlifted out of there. And I think Aljamain would take him down and smash him on the ground. What time does the main card start there, Joey? 10 p.m. What is 0000? What is that? I never knew that was a time. Umar Nurmagomedov will shape up the division when he finally decides to fight again. Yeah. How long is it going to be till he fights? O'Malley might be part of the new guard on MMA. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to lose a lot of current ranked guys in the next 5 years. That's how it always is. And the young always eats the old. The young always eats the old in MMA. Always eats the old. That's just how it works. Guys, I always like to ask these in some of the streams. I know a lot of you guys have already answered this question before, but I just always like to see the answers. Where are you currently watching this live stream from? Be as specific or non-specific as you want to be. I'm always curious, just the fact that we have people from all over the world watching this live stream. I can't wait to grow the channel. The channel's been doing very well. Been growing subscribers by the week. Almost to 1,600 subscribers. So let me know where you're watching the live stream from. I'm always curious where people are from. 12 p.m. is 00. We're at 10 p.m. Eastern. O'Malley is 1-1 against the current UFC rosters, and one of those wins is Chris Montino. Canada, Montreal, Baltimore, Chicago suburbs, Illinois, from Maryland, Upper Marlboro. That's awesome, man. I'm in the fight capital. Hint, hint. Las Vegas, Wales in the UK. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. YouTube. Black shitty chair on a dirty rug. What does that even mean? I'm not even sure what that means. Is that where you are? Is that what you're saying? Toronto, Canada. It's a young man's game for sure. Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's just crazy. I mean, we got people from Wales in the UK, people from Sao Paulo, people from Canada, people from Chicago, Australia. This is just insane, guys. Absolutely insane to me. I honestly, I would have been shocked. I've said this on many live streams. I would have been shocked at this point to even have 500 subscribers. So to have almost 1,600 working on 2,000, it's going fast too. The subscribers have been growing fast every week, it seems like. We had a little bit of a lull for a little bit, but then it started picking up. Illinois, Richmond Park. That's awesome, man. A guy from Illinois as well. So, it's just insane to me. Almost 1,600 subscribers. There's plenty of you guys that come to like every live stream. And I know there's people who come to the live streams, they listen in the background, and they don't really participate in the chat. And I appreciate you guys too. Apparently we're speaking Portuguese in the chat now. I would love to know what that says. But guys, thank you for letting me know where you all are from. Thank you for joining me. If you guys have any more questions, put them in the chat. We'll go for a little bit longer. The most underrated MMA page. You deserve at least 100K. The goal is eventually hit the 100K. But that is just insane to me. I appreciate the kind words. I hope everyone in this chat, if you haven't already, go check out my UFC 269 predictions after this. I have a playlist on the channel. With all my UFC 269 content, so it's the easiest way to find it in between all the other videos. Apparently someone's watching one of my live streams from like 2 weeks ago right now. I just got a comment on it. Bryce is going to beat Edson Barboza. You're sorry. Nah, it doesn't matter, man. You were talking to somebody else anyway. I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny that you were speaking it. Um, if anybody's in here right now who's not subscribed, because I know people watch channels and they're not subscribed, go subscribe right this very second. Yeah. And I'll go for as long as you guys have questions. So if you guys want to keep posting questions in the chat, I will keep going. Sean Johnson, what's the biggest upset for you this year? Biggest upset. When you say biggest upset for me, you mean a fight that I thought somebody was going to win and then they lost? I don't know, man. I don't know. Probably Glover, honestly. I was pretty confident Glover was going to lose. But that's probably recency bias, though. Let me look up list of UFC events. Let's see. So, biggest upset for me. Starting January. I don't feel like there was any that I was really shocked about other than the Glover one. But it's hard to remember everything. I'm just looking at main events right now. Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably the Glover one, but that's recency biased. Yeah, you guys keep filling the chat. Keep filling the chat. What's the biggest upset of this year, guys? What's the biggest upset of this year for you personally? Hamza Chimaev versus Kamaru. Who wins? Right now, I'm going to say Kamaru. Chris Curtis versus Brendan Allen has to be up there. I picked Chris Curtis. It's on the stream. Glover versus Yan might have to be my upset too. Darren Till versus Brunson, massive upset. Yeah, but I expected Brunson. I was confident that Brunson was going to win that fight. On the channel, there's proof on the channel. Aljo versus Yan as well. That is very true. If you'd have told me Aljamain Sterling beat Yan, I'd be shocked. Let's say Conor McGregor loses his next fight against Dustin in a forced fight, but he looks sharp and good, and it was a close fight before he gets finished. Does he retire after something like that? No, he immediately starts campaigning for a fifth fight. If I'm Dustin Poirier, I've said this many times before. If I'm Dustin Poirier, I would fight Conor 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I would fight Conor until he no longer wanted to fight me and just keep collecting them checks. My biggest upset was Tony Ferguson losing to Justin Gaethje. Saddest upset ever. That was a sad one, but I thought Justin Gaethje was going to win that fight. Lewis versus Blades for me. Yeah, that's one of my wrong picks too. Action Man, my favorite upset. Does Holloway get the trilogy fight with Volkanovski? Yes. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Does he win? I don't know. Biggest upset, Pena versus Nunez. I'm calling it. You're just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it comes true, and then you can say, I called it in the live chat. I don't think you really believe that, though. Moreno versus Figueiredo 2. The Brazilian entered it very strange. It seemed like he just wanted to go home. Yes, that was a big upset, too. I thought Figueiredo was going to win for sure. That's probably the one that most shocked me the most. That's the one. Why did you feel that Justin G would win this? I just didn't see a way Tony could beat him. I thought Justin was the far superior striker. I thought he was more powerful. I thought he had 5-round cardio. I was a little bit worried about the short notice taking the fight. But overall, I just thought Gaethje was better everywhere. So, and I was right. He outclassed him. I wish I had a channel then. I could have proved to you. I could have pointed you to a video. Guys, when I'm curious, let me know in the chat right now for you guys who are here all the time. When I tell you who I picked for a fight, and it was like 2 years ago before I even had a channel, do you believe me or you think I'm making bullshit? I'm curious. Do you guys actually believe me or you think this guy's full of shit? God, I'm about to shave off this mustache. It's making my nose itch so bad. Oh, yeah, Rose in that first fight against Weili. It was crazy. I think I think Conor might switch over to boxing because everyone is going to attack his busted leg from here on out. Yeah, but who knows? Anderson said his leg came out back stronger than ever. I thought you were going to bring up Rose beating Zhang twice after picking her both times. Yeah, I forgot. Honestly, it was hard for me to think. I seen Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski 3 was in the works for March. That makes sense. I think that's probably going to happen. Moreno made history, seemed really dialed in that night. Agreed. You think Lewis bounces back in his next fight against Chris Daukaus? Spoiler alert, probably not. Probably not. Maybe another upset would be the Rose win. Agreed. Go bet the house on Pena and be the richest man in the world. I predicted Gaethje will become champion in 2022. Whatever Joey says, go. Shave the mustache and move to Dagestan. I picked Holly Holm to beat Ronda, but I know for sure nobody would believe me. What's hilarious is I've never even mentioned this on the channel because I know nobody would believe me. I wasn't confident in the pick, but I picked Holly Holm as well. I never mentioned on the channel. No one's ever going to believe me on that one. I was not confident. I was not confident by any means. I thought I could have won either way, but I picked Holly Holm in that fight. But I know probably you think I'm full of shit too, and I totally understand. Who are the next Ultimate Fighter coaches? Nobody has announced it yet. I like this channel because Joey always brings good reviews, way above average of other channels. Thank you, my friend Edson. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. I actually asked this in a few streams before too, but I'm always curious because I like to look, at other YouTube channels and stuff. What are your favorite MMA YouTube channels? Let me know in the chat. What are your favorite MMA YouTube channels? Who else do you watch? Whether it be MMA media members or anybody. What are your favorite channels to watch? This is unreal. Where are you at, Joey? I'm in Maryland. If that's what you're asking. I'm in Maryland, in my home, in my office, right now, in front of a camera and a microphone and an iPad right here. I should have asked better. Who would you like to see as the next tough coaches? It seems like there's a lot of talk of Colby and Jorge. So I'll say that. I'm not a big Ultimate Fighter fan. I didn't watch Ortega versus Volk. But yep, I'm in Maryland on the East Coast. Maryland. Let me check something out. Let me check something out real quick. I'm surprised this Khabib Nurmagomedov video hasn't got more hate. I'm actually very shocked. Guys, let me know what other channels you're watching. Round 6, Brazil. I know you updated the setup. Do you think you'll update it ×2? What do you mean? I got to post another picture of it because I've added stuff to it. Hamza Chimaeya is the reason I found this channel. I couldn't wait for his return from COVID, so I watched as much content as I could find on. What's the first video you found, Sean? Joey's channel isn't that great. I've seen better MMA channels. Regret being subscribed to this channel. All right. Okay. Dragon Tales, go unsubscribe then. Or are you finished? I'm always looking to improve and add stuff to the setup. I eventually want to get a desktop computer or an external screen. I'm always looking to improve the channel. Always. I don't really rate Masvidal, just my opinion. You can't hate on Facts Boy. MMA whole channel is fun. Chael's Son and short clips. DC and RC is cool. UFC put out some great free videos on YouTube as well. UFC 267 full card breakdown was the first vid. UFC 2... That was a while ago, though. I mean, that wasn't that long ago, was it? Let me go take a look. 267. Are we talking about the UFC 267 is so stacked? Okay, go unsubscribe then. Bro, go unsubscribe. Nobody's forcing you to watch me. I don't know why you sat in here for an hour and 24 minutes just to say stuff like that. I don't understand that. Was it the one? Um, but there'll be plenty more to replace that guy for sure. That's so bizarre, isn't it weird how the way people act online? Like I hate to even give it response, but he was here since the beginning of the stream. So what's the point of sitting here for an hour and 24 minutes and then saying that this channel's terrible? I regret being subscribed to this channel. I'm so disturbed. But Sean Johnson, was it the UFC 267 is stacked? Is that the video? Because the full card prediction video was like a month ago. So I'm assuming it's that one. Let's see. Dragon Tails equals Danny Hamilton. Yep, trash can. Dragon Tails between his legs as he leaves. Okay, that's cool. Okay, I read that. What do you see as champions from a year from now going into 2023? Let's take a look, see. Flyweight, I'll throw a curveball. I'll say Askar Askarov is the champion. Bantamweight, Piotr Yan. Featherweight, Giga Chikadze. Lightweight, I'll say Charles Oliveira. Usman, I'll say, on the welterweight, I'll say Hamza. Middleweight, I'll say Adesanya. Light heavyweight, I'll say Rockage. And heavyweight, I'll say Francis Ngannou. Capper Comparison Picks, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. I'm mad. I missed the GIF pop up. Thank you for becoming a member. We have a members-only Discord chat if you want to join that. The link is in the members-only community tab. If anyone else wants to become a member, feel free. The link is in the description. But thank you, Capper Comparison Picks. Appreciate you. I've seen you in a couple comments before. And I think you've come to a stream a time or two before. Appreciate you very much becoming a member. Let me keep reading these messages. Best to just ignore. I know, man. I can't help it sometimes. I can't help it. I used to accompany Uncle Sonnen, but I don't trust what he says so much. He says all nonsense. Exactly. He says nothing but nonsense. He's probably just playing with you, Joe. I know. He wants a reaction out of me, and that was it. But I just found it funny. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Thanks again for becoming a member. Good question. You can leave. Nobody asked you to be here. The GOAT. Besides UFC, what UFC organization are you interested in the most? Probably Bellator. Joey, what's the fight of your dreams? Anyone in their prime? That's hard, but I've been dreaming of Khabib versus Charles Oliveira, and I know that's kind of recency biased, but that's the one I really want to see. But also, I would have loved to seen Anderson Silva and GSP in their prime. That gif was awesome, Aldo, right? Yes, it's Aldo dancing after he KO'd Cub Swanson with the flying knee. It was him dancing after he KO'd Cub Swanson. I thought that was the perfect gif for when people become a member. I missed it because I wasn't on the screen when it happened. But I'll go back and watch the replay. Thank you for becoming a member, man. I greatly appreciate you. It's a great way to support the channel. Loyalty badges. I post a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. You guys, the members know. I always update you guys what I'm doing on certain videos, what I'm working on, what I'm uploading, when I'm releasing certain things. You guys knew I had my new microphone before I even posted it, had it set up on the channel, stuff like that. So I think it's a great way to support the channel, but I try to give you guys as many benefits as I physically can. But what are your guys' dream fights? If you can put anyone in their prime, Have you ever had that one crazy, aggressive, energetic friend in high school that you thought would be great in cage fighting? I never thought of that, but probably, yeah. I know a couple people who were really crazy, but who knows? Cage fighting, I feel like the quiet people are the best because they're smart and they go to train and learn and do all these certain things and are quick learners, and I think they're probably best. Chael Sonnen versus Khabib. I have no desire to see Chael Sonnen ever fight again. But let's see what you guys' dream fight is. I like ONE FC, but don't know how to watch it. I want to see DJ versus Wu-Tang so bad. I think is it going to be on YouTube? I don't know, man. They're always weird times, so it's hard to watch. That's why I don't know how some of the UK fans stay up and watch. And it's so late where they are when the UFC pay-per-views are on. I had the same dream fight, Silva versus GSP. I'm sad they never made that. Chael Sonnen versus Connor. When Anderson Silva beat the brakes off of Chael Sonnen in that second fight, it was hilarious. It's hilarious. Were you a fan when it was rumors going around Anderson versus GSP super fight? Of course, yes, I was. There was talk of that forever. Yan versus Jones would have been fun to see. I think Jones would have spanked him. I think Jones would have spanked Adesanya, and I think Jones would still spank Adesanya. So for me, when it's not a question of who would win, it's hard for me to see that as a dream fight. So it is what it is. In his prime, Chael was one of the best fighters to never win a belt. I love Chael. Yeah, I guess he was one of the best fighters to never win a belt. But if I didn't live in America, I might not be an MMA fan. I could barely stay up to finish a PFL. Dude, those 4-hour PFL streams would absolutely kill me. Like, I don't even know how I survived those. Dude, that's nothing. I'm an hour ahead of UK from SA. What is SA again? You told me before, but I don't remember. What is SA? Francis versus John. Oh, yes. Francis versus John, I want to see badly. I thought Chael won a belt. Nope, he never won a belt. He came close. He came close multiple times. I got to scratch my leg now, guys. South Africa. That's what it was. You told me that before. But yeah, there's so many good fights that I could think of off the top of my head. Yuri Prochazka versus John Jones. I'm trying to think of another one. Yuri Prochazka versus... As soon as I say, I can think of a bunch. Kamaru versus Adesanya. Charles versus Habib. I'd even like to see Piotr Jan versus Alexander Volkanovski. I'd even love to see that fight, honestly. Trying to see something. Who else? I'd love to see Adesanya versus Yuri Prochazka as well. That'd be a great fight. Zabit versus Jair, in my opinion, that'd be great. You can add the Hamza emoji now. Yes, I should be able to. I think it takes 24 hours to update, but I think I should be able to. Tony Ferguson versus Bobby King Green. I don't know. I think Bobby Green may beat him. I want to see Francis versus John too. Usman versus GSP, both in their primes, yes. Tony Ferguson versus Rafael Fiziev. I don't know, man. That's a bad matchup for Tony. At least Dana shows us more love than boxing. The fights are always at 7 in the morning. That's terrible. I want Cejudo versus Volk, unpopular opinion. I have no desire to see that fight at all. Islam versus Justin. Dream fight. Islam Makhachev versus Habib Nurmagomedov. Who doesn't want to see that? Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. Yes, dude. I've been talking about Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz for what seems like forever. I love that fight. Joey, hold on 1 minute. Joey, why do you prefer MMA over boxing? I just got into MMA first, and for me, I mean, boxing is, it's just, for me, I love having all aspects of fighting included in the fight, and not just the hands. So for me, that's just what makes me love MMA and gravitate towards. I don't think there's anything wrong with boxing. I'm not criticizing boxing by any means. But for me, just MMA is what I fell in love with. Is his name Alexander Hernandez? No. It's Alex Perez, right? Now you got me question. I think it's Alex Perez. No, I can't remember now. I forgot his name that quick. I think it's... No, it's not Alex Perez, is it? Alex Pereira. It's Alex Pereira. Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor is what I want to see. Agreed. Islam is stronger than Khabib, in my opinion. It's hard to say, but you could be right. Boxing is lame. Okay, that's your opinion. Aldo versus Dillashaw would be excellent. I picked Aldo in that fight, but that's a tough fight for Aldo, so it could go either way. Prime Fedor versus Prime Kane. Isn't it crazy? Kane's out there doing some weird like wrestling now. Insane. Izzy versus Alex Pereira 2 or 3. I think they've already fought twice. Guys, don't forget to like the stream. Do me a favor and make sure you like the stream. Their fights are always on at 7 in the morning. That would suck. I couldn't imagine being up at 7. I don't think I'd be a fan. If I had to live in another country, Yan versus O'Malley to get rid of O'Malley. I don't even think you need Yan to get rid of O'Malley. I already talked about it earlier, my friend. Fast 2. If O'Malley fights Yan or Jose Aldo, if O'Malley fights Piotr Yan or Jose Aldo, he gets leg kicked one time and he will be airlifted out of the arena with no serious injury after he's stretchered to the staging area. Islam versus Charles. That's a fight, a very realistic possibility. What's up, Keep Out? Hope you're doing well. Yuri versus John. I already mentioned that one. That's a great matchup. Imagine how much fun that would be. Imagine how much fun that would be to watch that. Yuri versus John would be a lot of fun. I would go John in that fight. 3, yeah, that's right. They went the distance once. 3 years. Yep. Thank you. I forgot what we were talking about that quick. When I'm going through these messages, I forget like that, what I just said. What's your guys' favorite fight on UFC 269 other than the main event? Put that in the chat right now. What's your favorite fight other than the main event on UFC 269? Let me know. Is it Pedro Munoz versus Dominic Cruz? Is it Josh Emmett versus Dan Ige? Is it O'Malley versus Raulian Paiva? Is it Kai Kara France versus Cody Garbrandt? Or is it Jeff Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio or Amanda Nunez versus Juliana Pena? John would make it boring. John never plays another man's game. Nobody kicks like Aldo, maybe Edson Barboza. Corey Sandhagen would beat the brakes off O'Malley. Very, very true. Very true. Corey Sandhagen would demolish him as well. Sugar versus Yanez, wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I'd actually favor Yanez before his last fight, but now I favor O'Malley, unfortunately, to beat Yanez. Tj Dillashaw versus Cody G. Cruz versus Pedro. O'Malley, Paiva, Emmett versus Ige. It's the main event for me. Yeah, but I said other than the main event, what's your favorite fight? Neal versus Pons and Emmett versus Ige. For me, it's Kai Kara France, Cody Garbrandt, and probably Cruz Pedro. I love Cruz Pedro. I think it's a great matchup. O'Malley versus Raulian Paiva. If O'Malley loses to Raulian Paiva, I am going to laugh my ass off. The hate I'm going to get with my initial reaction to Paiva potentially losing or Paiva beating O'Malley is going to be hilarious. No, I wasn't paying attention. That's hilarious. Seems like this fight card is the fight card for hardcore MMA fans. I mean, it's just stacked from top to bottom. Fast says, I think Kai Kara beats Cody. I have Cody in that one. I think Cody's just better overall. Unless this weight cut gets to him so badly that it takes him out, then I think that Cody wins this fight. But we'll see. I don't trust Cody's chin. Who wins this fight? I'm going to do a poll, guys. Get ready to vote in the poll. Cody Garbrandt or Kai Kara France. Go vote in the poll for me, guys. I'm posting it in the chat right now. If you guys can vote, who are you picking? Kai Kara France or Cody Garbrandt? I got Cody Garbrandt. I have Cody Garbrandt. I think Cody Garbrandt pulls off the victory. But I'm curious what you guys think. So go vote in that for me if you will. O'Malley versus Paiva I think will be a good fight. I'm curious to see what O'Malley can do. Let's see. Is it the best numbered UFC this year? I don't think so. I think 268 takes that. Uh, I'm dying laughing at a message I just saw. Or Sugar versus Hollyann. O'Malley versus. Okay. Is it the okay? Already. Cody G will take one punch from Kai Kara and shit his pants. I don't think so, man. I think Cody's chin is underrated. I get that it's a little bit suspect, but guys, the poll is 50-50. The poll is 50-50. I got France by KO. Cody will try to brawl with a faster guy, and it'll be lights out. I want to see Sugar on the mat. I agree, man. I would love to see him tested on the mat. All right, looks like Cody Garbrandt's taking the lead in the poll. Does anyone else feel like Font has paper hands? Never seen him hurt anyone. You might be right. I was laughing at that when I read that. I think he may have paper hands. All right, anybody want to get a last vote in on the poll here before I end it? I guess you missed Font versus Marlon. Oh, true. Yeah, he did knock out Marlon. I thought he was going to lose that fight. I picked against him there. Okay, it looks like 53% takes Cody Garbrandt. What about Rafael Sunsao? Haven't heard from him in a while. I don't know. I remember there was rumors that he might have been cut, but I don't think he should have been. So hopefully he's not. He's still in the rankings, so I would assume he's still on the roster. But I don't know where he's been at. I don't think he's fought since he got KO'd by Cody Garbrandt. That reach behind the knee just came up, popped him right in the chin, put him to sleep. Dillashaw was able to KO Cody not once but twice. Cody was just crazy in those fights. It was a quick fight. It wasn't that quick. I mean, what lasted the whole first round. Oh, Sunsao's fighting next week against Ricky Simone. Thank you. UFC 267 best event. UFC 267 best event this year. Yan versus Glover. Yan versus Corey. Islam versus Hooker. Lee versus Hamza. I think UFC 268 was probably better, honestly. But both events were phenomenal, and they were back to back, which is amazing. Get rid of this. He's still asleep. I agree. For me, it was 261. Every fight made me say, oh shit. What's weird is, do you guys remember there was like a curse every pay-per-view somebody was breaking a limb? So 261, it was Weidman. 262, let me look up UFC 262. I think it was Jacare in UFC 262, maybe? Who broke a limb in 262? It was Jacare. Then UFC 263, it was Jamal Hill. It wasn't technically broken, but you get the point. UFC 264 was Connor. UFC 265, I don't know if UFC 265 had one. I think UFC 265 broke the curse, but I don't remember. Decision. I don't remember if there was one on 265. But 261 was amazing. They stacked that card. Joey, which fighter do you watch wanting him to lose? Let me take a look. See, who do I want? Will definitely be Aljamain Sterling in his next fight. He's annoyed the hell out of me the way he's accepted this. Connor's definitely one of those guys where it's like almost like he ruins. I don't want to say he ruins the sport because he brings a lot of eyeballs to it, but like the shenanigans that goes on. The shenanigans that goes on if he pulls off a victory, I usually root against him. There's a few. Even oh boy, who's fighting Dom Cruz at 269 was able to KO Cody KG. GSP versus Habib, Prime versus Prime. I go GSP in that one. I think the jab is just too good. I pointed out and called it for UFC 265. O'Malley will break his leg. Paiva walk off KO Paiva show. I remember anything that happened more. I remember. I guess you're saying I can't remember anything that happened more than 3 months ago. UFC. Oh yes, UFC 265 did have a girl that broke her arm on the prelims. That was it Victoria Leonardo? Victoria Leonardo, correct? I might be wrong on that one. Fight that should happen, Ilia Topuria versus Bright Mitchell. That would be a fantastic matchup. Topuria is actually fighting Mozalar, or whatever you pronounce his name. I can't remember. And Bryce Mitchell's fighting Edson Barboza very, very soon. Sugar Stretcher O'Malley. Yeah. UFC 266 broke the curse. It's the negative shit Connor does. Sean O'Malley, for me, guy, I hate that guy with a passion. He's super annoying. His fans are more annoying than he is, though. Honestly. But to be honest, for me, I always just want to see spectacular fights. Do you think Amanda Nunez retires anytime soon? I'm going to say no. Why wouldn't she keep winning these paychecks? Easy paychecks, still. If Sean O'Malley loses to Paiva, oh my God, it's going to be open season for me on Sean O'Malley. Video incoming. Sean O'Malley's career is over if he loses to Paiva. They'll be the cultists making excuses for why he lost. The undefeated Sugar Show. The undefeated Sugar Show. Yeah, he's undefeated. He was just getting ready to beat Marlon Vera's ass. I only watched the unranked champion to lose. He's so annoying. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, Sean O'Malley should change his nickname to Sean O'Malley Stretcher O'Malley. Or, now I forgot that quick. Sugar Stretcher O'Malley. Yes, that's what he should change his name to. Oh, Lord. Let's do a poll. I'm curious because we're open to all opinions on this channel. Want to see O'Malley lose at 269. I'm asking a question in the poll. Let me know. Do you want to see O'Malley lose? But again, that's what he wants. He wants people to tune in, and that's what matters to him. So you gotta at least respect that. He's trying to get people to tune in. But I think his fans are very, very annoying. Or not all of his fans, a lot of his fans are annoying. Colby or Hamza, that fight would be insane. I'd probably favor Colby. Nah, I'd probably go Hamza. Honestly, I'd probably go Hamza. I think anybody that can keep it standing with Colby or Usman has a good chance to beat him, and he may be able to keep it standing with them, and I think he has the better striking than Colby for sure. 50-50, someone break the curse of the O'Malley. I like that he's a character. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some people like that character. For me, it's more of the cult following and then some of the things he says than anything else. Sean Sugar Stretcher O'Malley, I can't with you guys. Yeah. Imagine Bruce Buffer introducing first Sean Sugar Stretcher O'Malley. No serious injury, stretchered out of the cage. But also, you know, as much as I shit on O'Malley, the things I say are not usually, they're true. And then I'm giving my opinion. But also I appreciate O'Malley for giving us a reason to care. You know, fights are more fun when you care about the outcome. And like for this event particularly, I'm not like wishing he loses to Paiva or anything. I think he wins. And I think it's honestly better. Like if you want to look at it from my perspective, it's probably better for my channel that O'Malley wins. I mean, people are more interested in him, and he generates clicks and stuff like that. I mean, it's not like I'm out here, imagine Bruce Buffer says O'Malley's undefeated. That'd be hilarious. It's not like I'm out here trying to spam O'Malley's name for clicks, but it definitely generates interest, and so we got to at least respect him for that. But I think it'd be hilarious. What pisses me off is the Sean O'Malley cultist pretending like Paiva is better than he is so that O'Malley can win and they can pretend it's such a great win. All right. Anyone want to vote in the Sean O'Malley poll, or I'm ending it out? It looks like 42% want to see him lose. 58% want to see him win, I guess. If you don't want to see him lose, I guess you want to see him win. I wouldn't tune in if O'Malley was on the prelims. I'll watch him get stretchered out again. Dude, if Sean O'Malley gets stretchered out again, I'm going to lose it. Come on, anyone want to break that? Get it to 50-50? I think we need one more vote for yes. He says the dumbest shit for sure. I'm a fan of O'Malley. He's not getting put in overprivileged position. He's in the main card because he gets finishes. Cruz doesn't finish anyone. Yeah, I don't know. No, I think he's getting that position because of the name value. I bet you there's probably hundreds of 12-year-old boys begging their parents to buy UFC 269 because they got to see O'Malley fight. That's the reality of the situation, I believe. Oh, we're at 50-50. Someone break the tie and click yes. Imagine if Bruce Buffer says O'Malley's undefeated. That'd be hilarious. Imagine if... see, I would never wish a serious injury on any fighter regardless. Because that can affect their entire life. They're doing this to entertain us at the end of the day. So I hope that doesn't happen. But it would be hilarious if he got stretchered out again with no serious injury. A lot of people don't even buy pay-per-views. I know for sure. A lot of people just stream them somehow. But O'Malley has Dana White privilege. Yes, O'Malley has Dana White privilege. O'Malley has Dana White privilege. But, I mean, at the end of the day, these guys are going in there to entertain us. I would never wish a serious injury on Sean O'Malley. O'Malley used to be a balloon clown. Honestly, I don't like his coach more than I don't like him. And I don't like his fans more, or the majority of his fans, or a large portion of his fans compared to him. I don't know if you watch boxing, but did you see the George Kamboze fight? No, I did not. I'm not a big boxing guy. I've heard of that fight, that he was a massive underdog and he won, but I did not see it. Darren Till has the Dana White privilege. Sam Alvey has the Dana White privilege too. He's lost like 28 fights in a row. And he's still there. He's still there. The stream is now just roasting O'Malley. Oh my God. Imagine a scenario where O'Malley gets kicked with one leg kick and he just falls to the ground in agony. They hurry up and they stretcher him out of the cage. They airlift him from the arena to the local hospital. And then we find out he has no serious injury. Would not surprise me. Yeah, he beat the Sean O'Malley of boxing. He was a 7-1 underdog. Very, very interesting. Good for him, man. Underdogs coming through is always awesome. Looks like we got 53%. One O'Malley to lose. So I'll end the poll now. I don't know, and they cut Kevin Lee. I know. I can't believe they cut Kevin Lee, honestly. Guys, is there anybody in the stream right now who is not subscribed? Because if you're not subscribed, go subscribe right this very second. If you are subscribed and you haven't done it yet, turn on notifications. Saturday night, immediately following UFC 269, I will be doing a live post-fight. You guys can join me as soon as the post-fight interview is done in the cage. Within like 2 minutes or so, I will be up here live streaming, giving my reactions to the post-fight, to the UFC's 269 fights, not to the post-fight, because I am the post-fight at that point. So guys, who's joining me? Let me know in the chat right now. Who's joining me for the live post-fight on Saturday? Just let me know who's coming. Who is coming on Saturday night at 1 a.m. Eastern time, right there about, depending on how long the fights go. O'Malley has to avenge his training partner, Kyler Phillips. Agreed, and I think he will successfully. Niles said he will be here. I always try to let you guys know ahead of time so you guys can be there. I will if my country Wi-Fi holds up. That is hilarious, dude. I hope your country Wi-Fi holds up. Fast, you're a new subscriber, dude. We do these streams. We do these streams every Wednesday. It's a live chat every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So just for future reference, in case you don't see it scheduled or for whatever reason, don't get a notification or whatever, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, I'll do these streams. It's nice, man. We're building an awesome community here where we can disagree. I mean, Fight Life Nation can come in here and say, I like O'Malley. and we're not sitting here attacking people and stuff like that when they say, "Oh, I think this guy can be a champ," and then the MMA community can be very, very toxic sometimes. We're building a fun MMA community here. 24-hour stream win. What does that mean? We can stay up till 3 a.m. again. I will try. Thank you, Drunk Boxing MMA. If Charles wins, I will come. If he loses, I'll be crying alone in a room. All right, man. Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, unless you guys have any more UFC 269 questions, I think that about does it for the live stream. December 8th, 2021. UFC 269 is almost here, guys. I remember that stream. It was super late. Yeah, so late. So late. I think that pretty much does it. I forgot else what I was going to say there. But I'm so excited for 269. I'm going to put out a poll in the community tab. Do you guys want me to do a live stream for the press conference tomorrow? And go vote in that if you want me to. I'm on the fence about doing it. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes sometimes you guys don't want to see it. I don't know how interesting the press conference is going to be. So if you want to see it, go vote in that poll. If not, at the bare minimum, I will see you Saturday for the live post-fight. What do you think the fighters start getting past their prime? I would say about 35 to 36. I think that's when they are. I think when they get in their prime is about like 28 to 34, somewhere around there. If I had to guess, it seems like. But I think everyone's a little bit different. Anyway, guys, I want to thank every single one of you for joining the stream. Thank you to the people who signed up to become a member. Thank you for the super chats. Don't forget to like the stream before I end it. And I will see you guys on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your night.